Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight it's generally open lines. I didn't have a guest scheduled, but last Sunday, and I don't have any guests scheduled for October, just so you know, because I kind of want to do this for October. Last Sunday, I had a caller, Sunny Brook, who was talking about living in a 200-year-old house that was haunted and her experiences there, which were quite wild and intense. And it was hard to hear a little bit on the phone. She was trying to be quiet. I get it. People call in late at night. You don't wake up your family. So I asked her to come on, and I want to do this with others, to come on the show tonight. In this StreamYard, we have better video quality call, than a phone line. And tell us more. Tell us about the experience. I'm going to have a recap everything in case you missed last week, too. I wanted more than recap. Just really tell her story. And I want more of you to do that. And you can do some of that tonight. We are going to, after we have about an hour with her, we'll open up the phone lines and let you guys call in. And if you want to just call in tonight and talk about your experiences, that's great. But if you have a lot to say about it, and there's a lot more, I think, to Sunny Brooks, that's why I wanted to bring her on, we could get you on here like this, like we do with guests. You don't have to be selling a book or selling a service or whatever, or trying to change the world. I want to just talk to people who've had the experience. Are you experienced? As Jimi Hendrix would say, well, in the paranormal. That's what I'm talking about, because I know all you guys here have been very experienced in the paranormal. And I want to know you. I want to know your experiences. And so if you're new to the show or an old friend of the show, Paranormal Soup, jbland@gmail.com. Reach out to me. I got a couple slots this month if you're interested. We'll do it. I got guests scheduled later, November, December, but October's open to you guys and your real paranormal experiences. I want to talk to you. That's what we're doing tonight. We can talk tonight, too. The lines will be open later. We also got lots of weird to get to. Actually, I was going to do Extend World Wide Web Weird. We're going to do normal World Wide Web Weird, but there was a lot. Maybe we'll have some extra stuff to talk about later. We'll see. But we got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight, joining me as always is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you.
It's good to see you. It froze on you. It'll come back. It's just being cranky. There you are. There we are. We're moving. Awesome. Also joining us tonight for the World Wide Web of Weird as well, and we're going to be talking with, is Sunny Brook. Welcome to the show, Sunny. Look, you're higher. I can see you. This is why we did sound check, and I'm like, do you want to be in the small right corner? It's because her husband's like 6'4". Thank you to her husband for having this set up. Welcome to the show, Sunny. Oh, you're muted. Unmute.
Oh my gosh. Is that better? Is it working?
Yeah, you'll get the practice.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show, Sunny. So thank you so much for doing this tonight. It's an honor to have you on. Like I said, I have more people like you. They're just like me and you. We've had experiences. We're going to talk about them. I always overshare mine. Everybody's tired of hearing mine, but I want to hear yours tonight. But we share, we talk. There's no scripted questions or anything like that. And I want, to have these conversations with any of you. So just don't forget, people, reach out to me, Paranormal Soup, jbland@gmail.com. You can find the links to the email in there in the show description. We do have a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, we're going to continue with the story, as I laugh, the 3-Eye Atlas. Yes, it continues, at least for its prolonged trajectory through our solar system here soon. It'll be gone and we'll be done talking about it. Unless it invades Earth, it's a big alien ship, and we're all doomed. I don't know. But A.V. Loeb, I find this interesting, says the source, it could be the source of the infamous WOW signal. Yes, A.V. Loeb is sensationalizing it every day. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup or radio channel on Talkstream's live Paranormal Radio app, we are a live webcast streaming out to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But if you want to listen, I will narrate as best as possible, and it's not that great, but hey, you'll live with it. All right, let me get this image up. All right. Yes, A.V. Loeb continues to talk about 3-Eye Atlas. Astronomers have been listening out for extraterrestrial signals for years, but one case, that of a strange signal picked up by a school telescope at Ohio State University over 40 years ago, has long remained one of the most tantalizing, perplexing examples on record. Originating in the globular cluster M55 in the constellation Sagittarius, the peculiar signal lasted approximately 72 seconds. Astronomer Jerry Eam, who was the first to examine the computer readout, famously wrote the word "wow" on the page. Although more experts have since dismissed that signal as naturally occurring, the specifics surrounding its source have remained a topic of debate for decades. Now, though, Harvard's A.V. Loeb has written a new piece in which he suggests the enigmatic interstellar visitor 3-Eye Atlas might actually be the originator of the mysterious signal. According to his findings back in 1977, when the WOW signal was received, 3-Eye Atlas was situated in the same approximate direction as the origins of the signal. You know how big space is? I mean, they get this down to what separated by approximately 4 degrees RA, 8 degrees in December from the direction of 3-Eye Atlas. He wrote, chances of 2 random directions in the sky being aligned at that level is about 0.6%. That's what he says. Take it as you leave it. You know, I don't know. I'm waiting for this thing to break up, do something, or invade the Earth. I have no idea. Is it Project Blue Beam? Are we being prepped for something psychological? I don't know. And A.V. Loeb, he's respected in his field until probably lately. And I think he's trying to get attention to his field with this kind of little bit of sensationalism after years of people kind of not caring. So maybe it's working. Maybe it is an alien ship. I don't know. I think they're already here, but hey. All right, moving on. We talked about this asteroid probably a year or two ago, or last year, I think it was. I'm waiting for Rob to change it. He's not here. Rob. I'm so bad at this. All right, next image. All right, NASA, nuclear explosion could save moon from asteroid strike in 2032. Remember they thought this asteroid 2024 YR4 was it was originally determined to have a 1 in 83 chance of colliding with Earth in 2032. As the days and weeks went on, the odds of the collision seemed to keep increasing at one point where as high as 1 in 32. Fortunately, though, once better observations of the object were made, the odds were ultimately revisited down to the point of irrelevance with just 0.001% chance of striking Earth. That would have been the end of it, but most recently, astronomers analyzing asteroids have determined that it is now not an insignificant chance of colliding with the moon instead. As things stand, there's a thought to be a 3.8% chance that it could hit the moon. Feeling lucky, punk? How do you feel about 3.8% chance hitting the moon? This might not seem to be our problem, but if this did actually happen, it might mess up our own manned space program. We talked about Artemis, right? And it could even shower the Earth with micrometeoroids. So their idea here is they're going to send up a nuke to blow it up. Or is this more like let's get more nukes into space because the coming space war is coming? I don't know.
I wouldn't believe anything they said.
And if it's got a 3.8% chance, are they going to get the budget? The center's going to be like, 3.8? I don't know if NASA needs that money. I mean, I think we should be interested in trying to do it just What did you say?
Keep sending it. They'll find a way to spend it.
Yeah. Well, I do think we should be interested in these interstellar objects coming close to Earth, and maybe we should try. I don't know about a nuke, but try something, to see what we can do to hopefully not make it worse, but see if we can find ways to manipulate these things to make sure they go away, and get a game plan in hand because it's an eventuality.
It's a real threat. There's a real threat supposed to be coming. I can't remember how many years from now, like 30, 40 years, something like that. There's supposed to be something coming very dangerously close to Earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should have some kind of game plan. We should be doing something. I don't think last minute we should be throwing Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck up there. And
that's what I'm saying. There better be a plan.
We don't want that kind of crap show. You saw how that movie went down.
No.
All right, let's move on. I mean, I would think everybody could get on board funding NASA to make sure we keep asteroids from destroying the Earth. Can't we get on board on that one? All right, Article 3. Amelia Earhart. Now, what did you say?
All the satellites, they're supposed to come down. They said September. Oh, there's going to be an extra amount of satellites returning to Earth September. A couple already fell.
Oh, wow. That's great. Well, we've covered Amelia Earhart's story over the years, different parts and some speculation. A lot of it I've skipped over, some of the articles about the ideas where they might have found her plane. But this one I'm interested in because they're doing what I said. If you're going to finally figure out the mystery of Amelia Earhart, you're going to have to find the plane. I'm not saying you're going to find the body, but you got to find the plane. It'd be there. We found them. Well, they are now finally doing an expedition. Expedition set to embark on a new effort to solve Amelia Earhart's mystery. The story of the disappearance of the famed aviator Amelia Earhart and navigator Fried Noonian needs little introduction. It has now been over 88 years since her Lockheed Model 10 Electra went down somewhere in the Pacific, prompting a mystery that endures to this day. So they're going to finally go out there. Finding Amelia Earhart's Electrica aircraft would be the discovery of a lifetime, said expedition member Richard Pettigrew, executive director of Archaeological Legacies Institute, confirming that the plane wreckage there would be the smoking gun proof. The 15-person team will fly out October 30th in the Marshall Islands before setting sail by boat to Nikamaruru, if I got that totally wrong, where they will spend over 2 weeks exploring and looking for clues. Whether they will succeed in finding Earhart's plane, however, remains to be seen. That's the thing. If they find it, then we know. Mystery solved. If they don't, well, it's going to be a mystery. Or will it? Wait, there's more. Because this next one relates to this as well. Let me pull that down. Because now, I guess Trump to declassify files over aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart. So there's been secret government files on Amelia Earhart. I'm actually not surprised by this. Some people are like, why is there government files on Amelia Earhart? Because, there's been the speculation over the years that she was secretly spying during her flight trip. And maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe that's what the secrets are.
Interesting.
And Trump's going to declassify an 88-year-old thing. Don't look at the Epstein files. Don't look at the Epstein files. I'm doing Earhart. Yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, what about the alien disclosure, the real JFK files that they're not releasing? I'm telling you, there are more JFK files. They have not released all the JFK files.
We'll never know the truth.
And, of course, the Epstein files. And there's a laundry list of things. But, hey, we're getting around to it. We got to Amelia Earhart now, right? We will. More than 88 years out. Well, let me see. I'm trying to find a part where they're going to talk about. But this may all be set to change in the near future as President Trump announced that he is going to be ordering the administration to classify secretive government records concerning Amelia Earhart's disappearance. She disappeared in the South Pacific. Well, I can't do a Trump impression. I just can't. She disappeared in the South Pacific while trying to become the world's first woman to fly around the world. Immediately made it to almost 3/4 around the world before she suddenly and without notice vanished, never to be seen again. The announcements come something of a surprise, mainly because it wasn't clear that the U.S. government even had classified documents concerning the case. Watch, it'll be like one document. I don't know. I have little faith in our government and transparency. It doesn't matter who you elect. I don't have any faith in transparency from our government. Sorry. I just don't. I got history to back me up on that. All right, moving on. So we don't do politics on the show because I don't care. I don't like them all. So equally hate them all. All right, moving on. Which one is this? Oh, yeah, this is crazy. This is another image file. I don't know if I had any videos tonight. Oh, yeah, this beautiful couple. Voodoo feud turns violent in Arizona. Our neighbor's feud in Phoenix stems from witchcraft and voodoo. Original Fox 10 article, but I got Coast to Coast Tim Binnell's little shorter article here. An Arizona mother and son who allegedly attacked their neighbors told police the violent episode was the accumulation of years-long feud, wherein the two households had been battling each other with voodoo and other forms of witchcraft. The weird incident reportedly occurred early Monday morning in Phoenix when authorities say Gabriel Martinez and Alberto Alia began brawling with the people who lived next door to them. According to the police, the victims wound up badly beaten, and the suspects stole their cell phones and a necklace one of the neighbors had been wearing. When cops investigating the case questioned the duo, they offered a rather fantastic explanation for the that sparked the fight. Alea told police that the incident came about after his mother grew fed up with their neighbors torturing her with witchcraft, specifically voodoo dolls. For their part, the victims asserted that Marionettes and Alea had also begun practicing proverbial dark arts in an effort to disrupt their lives. The strange circumstances that sparked the scuffle were echoed by Martinez's boyfriend, who told a local TV station that the two households had been engaged in a veritable spiritual war for the past several years. He's doing witchcraft like satanic stuff, Pablo Santiago said of his girlfriend's neighbor. He's over there poking the dollies, right? It's poking the dollies. Right when he sees me on the camera, you can start feeling him poking in your body. While Martinez and Elia may have hoped that Monday's morning's fisticuffs would put an end to the long-running feud, it all certainly only exacerbated their problems as they have been charged with the armed robbery of the incident and such. Their next-door neighbors may wind up being on a prison cell block. Okay, well, I would love to know what the other neighbors look like in this thing. But I guess they've been voodoo warring. Everybody's voodoo warring. I don't know. Can't we all just get along? I don't know. This is what we come to. This is how we can't be neighbors anymore. We got to start pulling out the voodoo dolls. How does it so happen that two people across the street all are into voodoo?
I'm not surprised.
Nothing should surprise us anymore. I don't know if I do so much for society's sake, but yeah, it is interesting. Only in Arizona? No, Florida I'm sure has their voodoo feuds too, right? We'll get one of those. Sorry, Florida. All right, that is Arizona. All right.
Voodoo feuds.
Voodoo feuds. That's going to be a reality show now. You know it.
This is my
It's not a bad idea.
Salt lines all around.
I mean, I'm right here, Hollywood. You just need me, right? You want to make your crappy reality shows? I'll make them better, crappier for you.
No, they got GI for that.
All right, this one's even crazier.
Or
this next one's even crazier, and I'm looking for it. Here we go. Dog owner accused of holding driver at gunpoint, forcing him to dig grave after hitting his dog with a car. This is the original Fox 10 or somebody, 10, maybe not Fox, some local news channel. I got Tim Binnell, again, coast to coast, shorter article. In a wild story out of Texas, a motorist who struck and killed a dog was allegedly forced to dig the unfortunate animal's grave by a gun-wielding owner. The bizarre incident, which came to light this week, reportedly occurred on September 8th in the city of Minola when the victim was cruising down a road and inadvertently hit the poor pooch. Upon pulling over to assess the situation, the motorist was quickly met by an angry Alberto Joshua Hernandez, who brandished a gun and indicated that he was the dog's owner. What followed was a harrowing ordeal that the victim later told police had him scared to death. Distraught over the pet's passing, cops say Hernandez ordered the driver to retrieve the animal's remains from the side of the road before snatching the motorist's keys and cell phone and forcing him to dig a hole to bury the dog. Satisfied with the impromptu grave, the gun-wielding man allegedly took the victim to a nearby ATM where the driver was strong-armed into withdrawing $200 as compensation for this pooch's passing. Hernandez ultimately released the terrified motorist with the ominous promise that he would find the man if he did not pay an additional unspecified sum for the incident. The driver later reported the unmanageable incident to the police, who promptly arrested the dog owner for aggravated robbery and kidnapping. Now, I love dogs, and I would be upset. But, listen, the guy stopped to get out, okay? How many people hit dogs and just keep going? This poor person stopped because they obviously are like, oh, my God, I hit a dog, and they get out. And look what happened to him. It's horrible. It's horrible. But, I mean, I get it. Dog's a family member. This guy, though, does it feel like he really cared about the dog, or he just wanted an excuse to rob some guy?
Well, I think he probably has some issues down there to get him to go off so quick like that. He probably was very upset at what just happened. Took it a little far. I think that was excessive.
A little far.
Just a little.
Just a little.
I
a little far.
To go rob the guy and
I mean, I
and
get
then
it.
ask him for more.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he really. I wouldn't have been surprised it wasn't even his dog, and he just used it that's my dog, and used it to rob this guy. I don't know, but yeah, how many people drive and hit a dog and don't stop? This poor guy did the right thing, and then it met crazy man.
You don't know, you never used to know what kind of days somebody had, how to approach people, because you don't know who's going to snap, who's not. But lately, something, if it's brain parasites, what is it that people are getting? Okay, a guy shot an 11-year-old boy.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Jamie.
I think it has a lot to do with mental health.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there something off in the frequency of the world that's driving people crazy? Or I don't know. It does seem like mental illness is just growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it seems like something is making it worse.
There was that movie where everybody suddenly starts to go crazy. Yeah, what was it?
People weren't acting like this before, and
it's
this
technology.
is beyond just being heightened up.
I think it's a combo. I think it's toxins, technology. I think we're eating in garbage in our country, especially. I mean, if you fill your body with your toxins, you're filling your brain full of it. That can't be helping. I mean, there's so many factors probably in line with it. We're just doing so many probably things wrong. But we're definitely not helping people, and there's definitely a lot of crazy people. So be careful. I feel so bad for this driver who pulled over because, like I said, so many people don't stop when they hit a dog. They just keep going. And this poor person stopped, did the right thing, and met crazy man. Crazy lunatic man that wanted $200. Oh, yeah, that compensates you for your dog, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I was a little mad because, like I said, I've seen it. I've seen so many people hit a dog and just keep going. It's sad. All right, let's go on to the last one. This one's sad, too, because it was just a couple weeks ago we lost in the cryptozoology world, Jeff Meldrum. And now, a personal hero of mine, Jane Goodall, has now passed away. And, again, I mean, she wasn't a cryptozoologist, but she definitely was open to the idea of Bigfoot. And she did so many things in the anthropological world and primatology. So it's real sad to have another legend lost. 88 years old, I believe she was. Yeah. It was October 1st. No, it's 91. She was 91. And she remained charmed, open-mindedness, optimism, wide-eyed wonder that are more typical of children. I know that because I've been fortunate to spend time with her. This is from, what does it say who this is from on her memorial thing? There's a long article, I'm not going to read it, but I shared one of my favorite things that she put on. She said about, I wish I would have screen captured that, about, you cannot live with a dog and not know that they have a soul. It was her simplest of statement, that know that they have a personality and feel emotions. Spend some time with a dog, you'll find out, and it goes for any of the animals. So she was a personal hero. It's sad that she's passed away, and I would like to see, more people in her field be open-minded to the idea that there could be a primate out there still around like Bigfoot, Dad, I always pick on my dad because he's like, I'm into all the paranormal stuff. Just don't buy Bigfoot. Pick on you, Dad. But, like I said, even she was open to it. You know what I'm saying? Jane Goodall. But, it's sad. She was such a pioneer and such a caring person for animals to try to get people to care about primates when, they were slaughtering them. So, again, legend, Jane Goodall, she will be sorely missed. But that's it for the World Wide Web of Weird tonight. We have Sunny Brooke. We're going to be talking about her paranormal experiences living in, what did you say, it was a 200-year-old house?
Well, in the records, it's dated 1900, but all the houses on that street have the same date because they really don't know.
Yeah, that's when they finally started recording it, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's probably older than that. We're going to get in that shit. Great call last Sunday. Now we can really hear you clearly because you don't have to be quiet. Hiding from the kids. But we got you on your great husband setup here. This looks, you sound great. So it's going to be great to talk to you on here and get your story. But I'm going to hear you guys' story later. Anybody, it is open lines later. We're going to open the lines. You guys call in, join the discussion. But we're going to spend about an hour with Sunny Brooke here and talk about her experiences and then open up the lines. You know how it works. All right, guys, we'll be right back after a short commercial break.
You were brought here for one purpose, necromancy.
A ceremony dating back to the pre-Christian era. It's the art of reviving the dead. It requires involvement with evil spirits by the person performing the act.
The devil god brings life to the dead.
No, please. No, please, no.
And death to the living. Necromancy. Starring Orson Welles and Pamela Franklin. From Cinerama releasing. In color, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Hello, I am Fernando Martinez. I think by now you know I am an emotional kind of guy. People stop me in the street and say, Fernando, what the hell is wrong with me? Silk shirt, hairy chest, enough aftershave to drown a household pet, but I still cannot get a woman. I tell them you are an ignorant fool. Without a symbol of power and fertility around your neck, what kind of woman is going to respect you? That is why I have teamed up with Medallion Man, the shop for medallion needs. Medallion Man caters to all levels of masculinity. For the strong, silent type, a medallion the size of a hubcap will say everything that needs to be said. Even singing medallions for the Casanova, who knows music is the food of love. Model trains, dollhouses, diapers, whatever your interest, we've got a medallion for you. Don't forget, every woman knows if you can't support a medallion, you can't support a family.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery The Duracell battery can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, we have Sunny Brook with us. Last Sunday, she called in during our we had a guest on, and she was talking about her paranormal experience living in a 200-year-old, or at least she's thinking it might be 200 years old. It's an old house. And it's going to blow your mind when you hear it tonight. I told her I wanted to retell it tonight. I mean, it was really hard to hear her. My phone lines aren't always the greatest. You'll find out if you call in later, but they work. They do work. But I wanted to bring her on and give her some time because I have the whole month of October like this, kind of open. Of course, we'll do a Day of the Dead show November 2nd. That'll be kind of like our Halloween show with Katrina Cooper. We're going to have Artemis and Tilly Treadwell on, and maybe some other people will stop by to say hi. But up until then, this month, I'd like to have people like Sunny Brook on who want to talk about their paranormal experience. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to have ever done an interview before. But if you want to come on here, this is an open forum, a place. Nobody's going to judge you. We just want to talk about and hear your experience, and that's what Sunny Brook is brave enough to come on here and do. And you don't really have to be that brave because everybody here is pretty cool, right? We're all very much been experienced and are open-minded. That's why I love my audience, and I love all you guys in the chat room that call in. And later, we'll open up the show, the lines for you to call in and join the conversation. And if you're interested, like my wife said, you're not great at retelling people's stories. No, I'm not. She's like, but you are great at interviewing. And, you instead of telling people's paranormal experiences, have them on the show and tell it, right? That Josh Turner Paranormal Roundtable does an amazing job of doing that. Me, not so much. So if you want to come on and talk about your experiences, this is the place to do. Email me, paranormalsoup, jbland@gmail.com. We got a great person, a great guest tonight, Sunny Brook, and open lines later. So let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Can I sell it enough that I want you to email me if you're interested in coming on time? All right, Sunny, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So you called in last week. I'm totally. Who do we have on last Sunday? Who was it last Sunday? Was it Artemis and Tilly?
Goatman?
No, it was Goatman.
Go.
It was Gil. It was Gil. All right, sorry. I'm getting guests mixed up of who was what last Sunday. It was Gil. Yeah, all right. But you called in, and as you were telling what your experiences are, I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for to get on. People that have a story to tell about their experiences. And I'm gonna, we got about an hour before the commercial break, but I kind of want you to relate that story tonight. What you were telling us about this whole experience you went through.
All right. Well, I had a very unique experience that was very real in this house. It triggered a spiritual awakening, and it caused me to move out within a week, sell my belongings, and move across country because of what happened to me in this house one specific time. So this house is very old. It's hand built in the mountains of Maine. It's built on top of a granite slab. And underneath the granite slab in the cellar is a natural spring that runs through down the backyard into a lake. So the house is on a lake. I tried looking at any information from the library about this house, like all types of information, and all they have is previous owner names, and that's all we know about the house. So it's kind of hard to talk about, but every summer we went to this house, and I knew a card trick, and it was kind of like a seance, I guess. I don't know. We didn't take ourselves serious. We did not protect ourselves. We did not do anything we were supposed to do, and treated it as a game.
How old were you when that started?
15.
And what was whose house was this to you? Like when you were going over there in the summers?
This was our grandparents' house, and later in the years we all ended up moving there, but we only went there for the summer.
Gotcha.
So during the rest of the year, the house is rented out to medical interns at the local hospital. And there were stories of shadow people, voices coming from them, and they had no idea we were doing all these like seances in the house. And so fast forward, years go by, we stirred something up in this house.
When you were 16, I want to just, before you go to that, you were doing this card game to communicate, right? Was it just using like a plain deck of cards?
A plain deck of cards.
I used to read tarot using a regular plain deck of cards. Oh, you muted yourself by accident. I don't know.
Oh.
There you go. Oh, you did it again. There you go. You're not muted.
Okay. This game, it was just all you got out of it was yes, no, maybe, or never. But just treating it like a game, it opens something up in that house. We call it a spiritual airport because it's never the same entity, never the same spirit, but there is constant energy flowing through that house. So fast forward, 2015, I move into the house, and my sister passes away suddenly from an accidental fentanyl overdose. And that triggered something inside of me I didn't think possible. And I started doing paranormal investigations on the porch all by myself, trying to get EVPs, and I would get them.
Was that you sent me a video? It's like 11 minutes long. I don't have it up here to play, but we don't generally show a video that long. But that's from that incident then.
And that particular video, I was not taking myself seriously. I said some things I should not have said in that video, provoking wise. Mm-hmm. But I was doing all this after my sister passed away, and I started not sleeping and hearing voices and seeing things. So I sought medical help. I got medication, therapy, talked to people, told them about the paranormal, and they gave me the check. I'm fine. I was like, okay. But the voices and seeing things didn't stop. And
this is 2015 though, when you moved into the house.
Yeah.
After your sister's death, and then you started to have
there before my sister's death, and then after.
And then after.
But
I'm sorry if I'm going to do this. I just want to kind of get some details.
Absolutely.
When you were hearing voices, what was it like? What were you hearing?
Well, there's a mimicker that can imitate my sister and my mom.
Okay.
There's the one that wakes us up in the morning. If you accidentally don't set your alarm in the morning, it's okay, because they scream your name and they will make sure you get up around 6 o'clock every morning. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on in that house. But it would always happen, but it got a lot worse when my sister died because I started to seek it.
Right.
So I started getting all these EVPs and recordings, and I named this one particular entity, whatever it is, Kyle. And I would go meet Kyle on the porch, get my evidence, try, show people and be like, look at this, I'm getting EVPs, right? Well, all of a sudden it starts getting weird. The feeling in the house starts to change. You go in a room, all of a sudden you don't want to be in that room anymore. You feel like you're being watched. And then my kids started to be scared of the dark, to go to bed at night, thinking someone's in the room. So I thought it was maybe I'm getting too comfortable with this spirit and I'll just go tell it to like back off. So I did. I went out there as usual, but I was a little more like put my foot down, like, all right, enough's enough, like leave my kids alone. The next day, things are moving in the house. Doors are opening, closing, lights going on and off. I mean, it's an old house, so I didn't think nothing of it. Continued on what I was doing, and everything kept getting worse and worse. And my dumb, I'm so disappointed I did this now, that what I know now of the spiritual world. But I told my daughter, do you want to see something cool? I can talk to the ghosts and catch voices, can you explain it? And this one particular time, I took her under the stairway that was connected to the barn. This is a very creepy part of the house. Anyone that has been to this house will say the same thing. And I brought her under there. And I start doing my EVPs. Kyle, you there? Come say hi, right? I go to play it back. And we're standing, the stairs like went over your head. So you could see underneath the stairs. And right as I went to play it back, she points and there's a black orb, like arm's length away. It didn't move. It didn't go away. It was just there, hovering.
How big do you think it was?
The size of my hand.
Okay.
It was fairly big. But she saw everything I saw completely different.
Right.
She saw it as just a black orb the whole time. It turned into, and I've wanted to paint it for years, but I don't want to, I feel like that gives it existence if I do that. This thing, I see fingers come through the wood on the stairs, and I stare at it like, what the hell is that?
Like,
and it looks like
the stairs, like up the stairs like this?
Through the wood. Like it's trying to like come through the wood.
Oh, like through the wood, like that way. Okay.
Yeah. And the detail of hair, veins, it was bald. It was like this big. It had no eyes, but there were sockets, like indent, like I don't know how to describe it, but it was dark there. It had a really big mouth and a really weird looking tongue. And as it was, it felt like an eternity when this was happening. As it's coming out, it's hitting the wood, looking around, like not looking around, and it was doing this with its mouth, like it was like tasting the air like a lizard would or something. Yeah. And I knew it knew of our presence, and it was trying to come closer. And we both screamed and ran out of the house, and I didn't know what to do. The first thing that popped in my head was sage. I hear people use sage. Like, I got to get some sage. So I go to the local hippie store, buy some sage. I've never saged before. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I got back, my dad comes outside. He sees me walk up the driveway with the sage because I'm literally holding it in my hand. Oh, before we got home, at the store, I let my daughter pick out a crystal. And I, like, as even if it was a placebo effect, just to give her some comfort, make her think it would protect her or something. So she picked one out, and I forget what kind it was. I wish I knew.
Yeah.
But as we're walking up to the house, my dad comes outside, and out of nowhere he goes, "Don't you dare bring that in this house." He didn't know what I was doing. I didn't tell him what I was doing. Like, he didn't, like, how do you know what it was? It was just, it was a weird interaction. So I put the sage down on the stairs, and as we walked through the door, my daughter holding the crystal cracks into a million pieces, and her arm starts to turn red and blotchy, and it starts spreading up her arm. And I almost brought her to the ER. I just gave her a warm bath.
How old was she?
8 at the time. It went away after a bath, and I was beside myself. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. Should I tell somebody? Who would I even tell? I can't call the police. They'll think I'm nuts. Like, this really happened, and I had no idea what to do about it. So I got my daughter to sleep, and I waited till everybody went to sleep to light the sage. And I go through my bedroom, and my husband wakes up like out of a dead sleep and starts cursing at me, like, "What are you doing?" And doesn't remember doing it. I went to my mother's room. In the moment, she started choking and swelling. Turns out she's allergic to it, but that was a terrifying moment to see her, like, all of a sudden, like.
Well, I asked you then, is that why you think your dad initially was like, "Don't bring that in the house," because he knew she was allergic to it?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility, but it was just a weird moment to have with him to, like, immediately confront me about it. So after all the saging, I go downstairs to wrap up, and my dad, just out of nowhere, and this is like the middle of the night, he stands in the living room. He grabs his hair and rips it out like he's hurting himself. And he yells, "I'm gonna effing kill myself," out of nowhere. And his face was not his face. It was not his face. It was morphed, and his eyes, I'll never forget, they weren't all black, but the centers were black. Like, it was all dilated. And that shocked me, terrified me. I didn't know what to do. And then he went into his room, and I just went outside on the porch where I've been doing all the EVPs alone. I went there to cry, and I was like, what is going on? Like, do I go to the mental hospital right now? Like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, I get poke, like a finger sized, like, strong pokes. It's something's poking me. It's not like a body reaction of some kind.
Right.
And I get up to like, what the heck's going on? I guess I moved away from it, and it was only on my one side, and it was like following me. Like, I knew it was in a certain direction, like trying to get away with it. So the only thing I knew to do was to get out of the dark, get into the light. There was one street light 3 houses down. And I ran outside barefoot in my pajamas. It was like 30 degrees outside. And I just stood under the light. And because my sister died, a friend of mine sent me a prayer. And I just wanted to read this prayer. Like, my phone wouldn't work. I had to turn it on and off. The person that sent me the prayer ended up like getting blocked somehow. Like I went through, I don't even know how long, like trying to find this prayer, and it just would not let me somehow. But when I got under that street light, my phone started working. And I started praying to Archangel Michael. Never have before. Didn't, I tried to be as serious as I could. Like, no, this is what I need to do right now. Take it seriously. I was like, I need help. If there's help out there, like this is real and someone needs to help me. And I read the prayer, and I'll never forget this feeling. It was not like a floating feeling, but it was like bricks were being lifted off of me. And I felt a warm, fuzzy static cover my body. And it felt like a blanket of safety.
Yeah.
Like I knew I was just safe. I knew everything was going to be fine. I almost had like an instant knowledge moment of this is what's going on. This is what you're going to do. And I couldn't even comprehend it, but I knew it was going to be okay. I just had to get back to the house somehow and get the courage to go back inside in the dark. And my goal was just get in bed, lay down, deal with the rest of it in the morning. I got you. Like, just it's time to go to sleep now. I went in, fell asleep like right away. Like none of it ever happened. And next day I told my husband what happened. I was like, I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I was like, this is what happened. I told my family. I was like, I need to get out of here. I was like, that can never happen to me ever again. And I don't want it to happen to my children. And I did. I left. And it triggered a whole spiritual awakening. And this all happened like 8 years ago. And what I know now spiritually, I will never, ever, ever do any disrespect towards the paranormal or like Ouija or any type of that kind of stuff, because it is real and it is scary and it can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. I've been, for me, I still have gone out, investigated, done EVPs and that, but I don't treat it, like you'll see me do the live ITC shows, I'll joke with it. I try to keep the energy positive when we do those once in a great while.
Yeah.
But I warn anybody, when your intent is out there to communicate, something will try to reach back and communicate with you most of the time. And so it's all about your intent and what you're doing, and watch out. You might get what you asked for. And it's a countless story. Yeah, countless story of tons of people. What I find really the most fascinating about it is like the way you described when you were, saved from this. When you had the prayer to Archangel Michael's, the warm blankets, exactly how I felt when I reached out to God when I was being attacked by my shadow person. It was levitating me up off my bed. This is bright light that filled the room, and I had, like you said, instant knowing. Like I got
like
you.
A lightning
when you said
bolt.
I got you, that sent chills in my down my back, because that's exactly it's like that knowledge. I got you. I got your back.
Exactly.
Everything's all right. No judgments. Nobody's mad. You're
and
all right.
You're just so like confident, and but you really don't know, but know. It's
Now, after my experience, it took me a long time to really realize what happened to me. It took me years, because I was just a dumb teenage kid. It took me years to really realize that was God that saved me. To accept that. I humbled myself before God, and I was saved, and I'm lucky. But I'm lucky to have the experience to know. I mean, in a sense, I've always known these weird things are real, but to know that there is something, there are bad things out there that are interacting with people. Now, who was it your dad's parents that originally lived in that home, or your mom's?
my father's.
It's your father's.
Well, they never lived there. They just purchased it as a
Just
vacation
purchased it.
rental.
Okay.
Yes. And
but your dad spent quite a bit of time there in his own childhood?
no,
No?
this was just vacation only,
Okay.
summers for the family. And then eventually they moved there full time. And it's odd to think about, but of all the negative and scary paranormal that has happened in that house, they almost protect it in a weird way.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did you feel like when they moved in the house, they changed?
That seems to happen a lot.
Yes. Well, continuing on, that right there was what I told last week. So what I wanted to kind of tell you more about the house. I really feel like this property had an effect on the land surrounding it and the people. And I have some stories I written down that happened after the seances we did. 2003, across the street, a man got murdered directly across the street from the house. His name was Butch Weed, and it's still unsolved today. This young kid used to walk back in front of this house. It's on a main street of a little downtown little area. And you have to walk past the house to get to the lake to go swimming. And he walked by every day for years. And then one particular day, my mom is a witness. He was wearing all camouflage and had a hammer in his hand. Walked past our house, and he walked down the street to his grandma's house and beat her over the head, killing her with that hammer that day.
Oh, my God.
So in the backyard are probably an acre of woods. And if you go through the woods, you're on the lake where people go swimming. And 2021, the body of Eric Winchester was found at the swimming area, and he was missing for months. And he just appears there one day right behind the house. Oh, this one. Right next door. For months, my neighbor had a friend living there. Never saw him come and go, didn't even know he was there. One night, he went out for a drive, and he ended up hitting and run, murdering Taylor Gabray. And it was New Year's Eve night. It's in the police file, and it was witnessed by the other person in the car that he was emotionless. And after he hit her, went to her body, nudged her, got back in the car, and just drove right next door. And he was missing for weeks. Everyone, the whole county was looking for him. He was right next door the whole time.
Wow.
The incident that happened with me. Oh, my sister. My sister was living there, and then she moved out down the road. Right after that, she ends up passing away.
Oh, you muted yourself by accident. There you go.
2023. 3 cats and 2 dogs, all my parents, die within a year, mysteriously. Just when the house was at its worst, the most negative feeling, you just felt it. Just, you could feel the house, as if the house was its own entity, and it was angry. People just leaving, because we moved out. My sister moved out, then she died, and then it's just everybody was gone from the house. and then all the animals died within a year. It was sad, so sad. There's a man, I can't find the date, but he jumped off the dock behind the house one day and just died when he hit the water. That was directly behind the house. The older man just jumped in and drowned. He was alone and he was found. And the last one, someone did commit suicide at the same spot on the lake. All this random weird activity of like people dying surround that house.
Yeah.
And I just deep down, I know that if whatever dark thing was brought to light or let loose from that house, it affects everything around it some way, somehow. And it's not always in the house. It's not always there.
No, it
But
doesn't sound
it
like
is
it's just a house, it's the
definitely-
land.
That's what I want to ask about. So, does the water actually run through the property?
Underneath the cellar through the house.
Okay.
A natural spring.
And then what type of minerals?
There's a
Is
granite
mostly-
slab.
They
Yeah.
mine granite, white granite. So
Okay.
all the mountains and hills that you're on, you can't just go dig a hole in your backyard. It's not like sandy or dirt. It's all rock. It's all granite.
So I would love for you to listen to an old episode of mine. You
A
probably
recipe right there.
I had on famous parapsychologist Barry Taff, and he has a book out there as above, so below. It's more to the title than that, but Barry Taff, looked that up because he's one of the first ones. He did the Entity case, which is they made a famous movie out of, and he's been on other cases. He was in the Demon House with Zach Baggins, not his proudest moment, I don't think, but he got attacked in that documentary, and that's real. But he's always, as a parapsychologist, had the theory that there's two factors to a lot of the psychokinetic experiences, paranormal experiences people have. It's the location and the person. And that location, everything you described would be right on up there in his radar of possibly being these high EMF. Like, I'm not the scientist he is. I'm not a scientist at all. But he had a great description. It was a great episode years ago that I did with him, talking about how you're the needle and it's the record. You know what I'm saying? And certain energies are going to come in and have reactions to it, and it affects. And he has photographic evidence he showed on our show of what he believes shows this interaction between the environment and a person with abilities. Then it could also affect that person growing up in a place like that too, and open them up to be able to see more things too. That's why I was asking like how often you were there as a kid and stuff like that. How much it affects you. But when you're in your moment of grief and you're open, the doorway's up like that. Anybody, I think, in that kind of location is going to be messing with some very powerful energy.
I've had experiences my whole life, and it's always been an interest, the spiritual, paranormal. And after my sister passed away, everything amplified. Like, I evolved spiritually or ability-wise, I don't know, but it just out of nowhere.
Well, I think it's because you also had an encounter with the divine, God, intervened.
You think so?
That's what I think. It took me years to accept it. I will be honest. I didn't accept it right away. I mean, I felt like I was saved by God or an ancestor, but really, because I actually saw somebody. It was my great grandfather, I believe, in my room during this incident. But I don't think it was just him that saved me. That warmth, that feeling, that power of empathy and love and compassion I felt. Years later, I felt it one other time is when I saw a translucent boy walk through my parents' living room in the middle of the day that turns out to be my son now. It looks just like my son before he was born.
Oh, that's wild.
That's God. That's God. That's love. That's compassion. That's to me, that's the force, baby. That is the relationship you need to be building. That warm blanket, that feeling, that connection.
Yes.
And I wish that everybody could experience that. I really do. Not have to go through your hell or my hell to experience it, right? But maybe that's why
Yes.
these things happen, to open our eyes to it. We're the lucky ones that kind of were forced through the door and humble ourselves to be like, I messed up, help me, God, and to
I
get saved.
You have to be at some sort of breaking point or ledge for you to get that moment, I think. I really think so. It wouldn't just happen willy-nilly, I don't think. You would have to
No.
be in a moment of submit and acceptance. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you were at pretty much the same point I was, And I think that's when God entered our lives and saved us. And I tell people I don't care what religion you join or what you want to believe in. I don't care about any of that. As long as you're building something, a connection to something that is there. It's in all of us, a divine spark. There is a higher power, a force. You can believe it's Allah, God, Buddha.
It's all the
I don't
same
care.
equation in the end.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really feel so.
Not everybody agrees with me on that, and I'm fine. I don't. You do you, I do me. But I never joined or accepted any particular religion after that experience. But I do believe in a
Me
higher
neither.
power.
I all of a sudden it didn't make sense. Like I don't know. I went on this crazy quest to figure it out, and I didn't know what I was trying to figure out. But I knew there was like a deeper feeling or meaning to all this. I don't know how to explain it and put it into words. You know what I mean?
No, I totally know what you mean. Like I said, it took me years to really accept what I went through and what it was, that really I encountered that night when I was saved. And that, some people, they don't like to say that or, admit that. It took me a long time to admit that, I was saved by God. And I, like I said, I'm not preaching any particular religion of any kind. I was saying that people need to have that, that smaller inner voice, that stillness that's there. Everybody can experience this, in my opinion. You don't have to go through this. Sometimes it will be, really will be at your lowest points. When people have passed away, when you're really hurting, when people have these experiences.
And it was soon after that when I started to get more serious about my encounters with paranormal. If I am going to do the investigating, however, I would take it more seriously. And ever since that moment, like every answer I got, every EVP, the shadow people would not just, come and go in the side of my eye. There'd be a shadow person standing at the door, and
Yeah, that's what I experienced.
like, okay, hello. Like,
I had one walk right up to me.
All the experiences I had were just like amplified after that.
Yeah, I had one walk right up to me during my whole experience. I had one show itself down the street while me and my wife she's driving the car, and we went totally blind for like 3 seconds while she's driving the car. We're both blind. Shadow. Now, I think people see spirits as shadows sometimes, but when you have a shadow person, let me tell you, it will be void. It's darker. It is, because I think I've seen spirits kind of shadowy alike, but the shadow person I've never experienced again. It's like a void of light. It's like a black hole in the shape of a person.
Yes.
All right. I don't know any way to describe it, and they are not to be messed with.
No.
Do not mess around with them, but do not give them power. You have the power to tell them to go away. Trust me, you do.
I learned that.
They want to make you believe you don't, but you do.
You have to hold your ground. Absolutely. And just don't be scared. That moment you show weakness, you're done. You have to literally stand up to it.
These things, what I encountered with my shadow, this entity knew everything about me. It knew all my weaknesses. It knew all my history, and used every little weapon it could against me.
Been there. And now when it's if I have like a new experience with a new entity or whatever situation, and they try using those like little pinpoints that would get me last time, it's like, are they even trying now? It's like, you just know that they're just trying to mess with you.
Yeah. So so have you been like, you do try to do?
I do investigating, on my own.
Yeah.
I'm just on this quest of doing my own research and comparing my notes with other investigators' notes. And I
All
try
right, I
to
saw
do,
somebody comment that I think is friends with you in here said that, have you showed him your other, you have EVP videos and stuff that you've recorded? Stuff that he said, you have other EVP videos. He's trying to remind
yes,
you.
I have quite a bit. It's not all public yet. I haven't really released anything. There might be
Okay.
a few out there, but
You can't, there is a share screen function if you're on your computer. I don't know if you have any of that on there or anything, but you can share screen on here. Um,
I am like
it's on the,
technology illiterate.
I know. I remember
My
it's like
husband
I'll
set
probably push.
everything up for me.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be if you had the file on your computer, or if you had like or if it was YouTube, whatever. You can present it on here. It's not too technical, really, but it's up. I mean, up to you if you want to try. We don't, like I said, like I didn't. I had your 11-minute video. We were gonna sit here and listen to an 11-minute video
Yeah.
either. But I do love good EVPs, and I did listen because
You
that was
heard
my
them
first.
though,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I told you definitely got EVPs on there.
and I got smacked and hissed at,
Hmm.
plain as day. Just like
Yeah, those are all
smacked in the
bad
forehead.
things. Yeah, if you're getting that, I'll tell you this: if you get into the like ITC and spirit communication, and at any point it gets negative, stop.
That's what I did. Yeah, I couldn't go on if I wanted to. I was terrified.
And honestly, I have people call in. We've had amazing experiences with the spirit box and stuff. People call in, people's voices that come through from family members. But I will always say, you never know if that's your family member. Never, never guarantee. Never going to guarantee that ever, ever. You don't know what is coming through. So don't try to
Yeah.
build a relationship through an ITC spirit box. I
Yeah.
I do think they work. I do think things communicate through there. But if you're going to build a relationship with a loved one on the other side that's passed on, you can do it without a spirit box
Yes, and
or anything otherwise too.
I've had a couple times on those spirit box apps where I think I hear my sister, and I just tell myself, nope, nope, you know better. Like, you know better that was not her. Like, don't fall for it. But it has happened.
Yeah, it could be her. You don't know. That's the thing. It's like, it depends on I always say your intent, what you do. I do try to keep things as positive as I
I
can
don't
when we do those
seek
shows.
when I
Right.
investigate. I'm not out there like, are you here? Well,
Yeah.
like I
It's
just
also why I don't
kinda
like
sit
to
in
use
silence.
ITC devices on investigations. Like residential, I don't use the spirit box stuff. I stopped. I had investigators that would, and I'm just like, I only want to be in the conditions that the person's living in here with an open recording devices,
Agreed.
video and audio, and that's it. I don't want to add to it with spirit boxes or anything else. I just want to see what happens here. Can we capture it? That's it.
Absolutely. I agree.
That I love EVPs the best. Yeah, it's great to have two-way communication, and one of the best people. I tried to get him on for the Halloween show. He's not ready yet, or he's not going to be available. He's going to be out of town. It's Tony Rothman's probably doing some of the best work in that field, the Staticom, and there's many others that are. But I really like what he's doing with the Staticom, and I can't wait to see more. I think it's possible we could make a device that could communicate to the other side, but you never know what you're going to communicate with for sure. You never know, and that's always going to be that way. I don't see any other way around it. When you're talking to something you can't see or know for sure it's your loved one or whatever, you have to keep that in mind the whole time.
Yes. Yes, yes. I saw a question. Do you think it was Native American land?
I wonder that too.
There is within, I'd say, 10 miles, they were building a bridge over a river. What's it called? Andrewscoggin River. And they found a burial ground there. So within 10 miles, there is Native American land for sure. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you don't know what's there or could be there under that house.
Yeah.
I think the energy conditions, like, very much reminiscent of, like, I mean, it's similar when we had, I'm trying to remember his name. He had the house down the road from the Manson murders, and it was the house Barry Taff investigated. Was like, I'll never go back to that place. Oh, what's his name? David Oates. Was that his name? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Omens.
Omen.
David
Omen.
Omen?
Omen. David Omen. That's it. Yeah, and he had that house is like the same kind of like perfect recipe for this kind of energy. Like the foundation was built like these pillars down into granite,
In these weird
and limestone.
levels.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was on Ghost Adventures. They had what was the Beetlejuice figurine? Was that the one with the Beetlejuice figurine that moved?
Yeah, on the fireplace.
Yeah, Barry Taff and David Omen don't get along anymore. But when Barry Taff was there, yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, it's it's the electromagnetic energy is so bad there. Certain people are going to be sensitive to it and get sick too. That's he's one of those people.
People were like passing out.
Really?
Yeah, I would love to go into your that old house that you're just this all happened in and take some EMF meters onto the property and into the
Feel
house
the vibe
and see what the natural electromagnetic energy is in that area. I've seen it. I went to this one house where this lady had stuff, and when you walked in the ground, you could feel it was spongy because the water. It was like water literally running under the ground. It was like and all that water caused I had the gauze meter going up to 150 milligauss and stuff outside, just from the ground. So running water underground can do that. Alan's like, can we hear some EVPs? I don't have her EVPs. I don't know if she can put those up, and if you can't, don't worry about it, Sonny.
I don't want to click or touch anything.
What it would be is it's under present or invite. If you click on that, what
under
it does
what?
is do you see on the bottom panel where it says present? Does it say present? Wouldn't it be invite? I think it just say present.
I just have icons, microphone, a camera. There is a TV-looking thing with a plus on it.
That's it. So if you click on that,
okay.
And you can share slides, PDFs, extra camera, video file, or image file, or just share your screen. And if you share your screen, tell it to turn the audio on so it can share whatever the audio is you're sharing, like if you're playing a YouTube or a video.
Okay.
It is pretty simple, but I get it. My wife would be like, "Yeah, right. I still don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, I'm nervous. Maybe another time.
No, maybe
and
another
I can
time.
have them ready and prepared to show you
I'm good with
specific
that.
ones. Because if I were to go look through my archives right now, it would take me a while to figure out where.
Trust me,
in the
I have a
each one
large
was.
archive of EVPs. And even when I decide I'm going to present it, if I'm being interviewed, which I hate to be done, I still have to go back through and figure out what am I, go through the files and figure out how I'm going to present it and all that. So.
But I definitely have some I would love to show everybody. I have a couple of some questionable orbs as well in that house, like large orbs.
And did you have situations occurring around the orb activity?
Music. We jam. And
love it.
My dad plays the harmonica. I play the piano and sing. My husband plays the guitar, and we have a very musical family. And my sister used to play too. And this was after she passed away, and we were just in the living room jamming. And I have a full video. I'll send you in the email so you could watch. It's long, but there were orbs dancing all over the place. And then they were going to and from this one specific guitar. And the dog in the video senses, you could watch her watch the orbs, and she just started growling at this guitar. And then she starts growling at the ceiling, and it's all in the video. And it's wild.
Those are some
things you
of
can
my
experience in that house.
Did you have any of the ones that were also kind of the long squiggly lines?
They look like a bug.
Yeah, or kind of like a.
You talking about the rod phenomenon?
The rod thing.
Like kind of like a squiggly line.
Well, no.
No.
Like in person, you mean?
Yeah, you just kind of
no,
see
you would.
The little.
Usually you see them on camera, not by your eye.
Aren't those bugs?
Well,
no.
Okay, so maybe. And this is what skeptics would say to when the people have orb videos and that, it's dust. This is what I say about the dusting.
It
Sometimes
emits
yes.
the light. It's the ones that emit the light, and it looks like there'll be a stripper dancing, and then she's got the music on, and then there's these certain orbs that'll come up with like these long little, almost looks like pieces of string, and they illuminate
I've never
themselves.
seen anything
Like
like
they're
that.
very attracted to the music and the dancing, and I see a lot of orbs
Ooh.
attracted to music and dancing and energy, and I think that's one of the reasons they like old theaters and so much energy in places like that too.
Well, what I've said about orbs is, is that it could be dust, but at the same time,
We're seeing them in person at the same time, though.
if you see a glowing ball of light with your eyes, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
situation,
you could see
it's
them
not
plain
like
as day, and
yeah.
in your video and in pictures.
Well, I'm saying if
it
you
comes
see them with
in
your
waves.
eyes, if you see them with your eyes, there's no doubt. But if
Oh,
you've seen
yeah.
it on camera, the skeptic's going to say, well, that's just dust. What I'm saying is dust is attracted to static electricity, and I've seen static electricity phenomenon around entities. And so who's to say, yeah, you
Ooh,
might be seeing dust, but
interesting.
it's following the energy of the spirit that it's collecting to.
Ooh. Okay. Never thought
But
about
yeah,
it that
like
way.
Deborah Farrell said, like the orbs I had, you could see with your eyes. And then there's the orb phenomenon you can see with your eyes sometimes because it gets so powerful. Barry Taff again, I had on who did this case, San Pablo, I think it was called or something like that. Jackie Hernandez was the client, and they videotaped all kinds of weird phenomena, glowing orbs and blood coming down the walls and rod phenomenon and these like white rods coming in and out of Jackie Hernandez's head. You can still
Whoa.
find some of the documentary footage on YouTube, I think. It's an old one, but I think thank you. Thank you for the $1 super chat.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes, any dollars help, by the way. I should shamelessly plug because I got a big website bill coming up here at the end of the month. Patreon or YouTube channel members or super chats do help the show. Thank you, Stargazer. Anything helps. Sorry, I always have to interrupt if somebody does that because it's
I love
doesn't
that.
happen often.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
But yeah, it's Barry Taft's thing was that it's the environment and the person. The person's like the needle on the record player, right? I think there's another factor to it, though. I think it's the environment, the person, and entities that come through that environment. I think the person is the doorway, like the key to the keyhole. And they open up the doorway and other things come through. There are conscious entities. Like his idea, it's all psychokinetic activity coming from the people, right? Because that's what they kind of like, even in the entity case, it's really the woman that was going through this horrible thing. It's her own psychokinetic energy. No, she was being attacked by a demon. Sorry. Go watch the original entity case. But they're trying to look at it from a scientific perspective. I don't like to even use the Judeo-Christian term demon, but entity is the way to say it. The movie was called An Entity. It was an entity. And at one point, this thing appeared in front of all these parapsychologists as this green glowing form. Ooh. Right? That's why I always loved the entity, because my own green glowing head thing, but this thing that manifested, because so many people are now, I always say the paranormal is almost like, the Warner Brothers, I think it's Warner Brothers, the dancing dead frog thing, joke, cartoon. Like, hello, my baby, hello, my hello, my Camptown girl. He tries to get the frog dances for him, it's alive, and then he goes, he takes the box up, and it's just like, dead frog, right?
Yeah.
That's the paranormal most of the time for people.
Yes.
But I think I also think it's like, if you believe, it is that. Like, the more the conscious awareness and acceptance of the reality of an entity, the more power that entity gets. You get it? Yeah. And I always tell this to clients, like, if you're having this activity and all this stuff, don't start talking about it inside the house. Get somewhere outside the house. Compare notes. Don't watch horror movies inside the house. Don't do things that feed it energy. Talking about it inside the house is probably the number one thing that's going to feed it a lot of energy.
When that incident happened, when I saw that creature, it was hard for me to even describe it to people to understand what I saw. I wanted to draw it and paint it so bad, but I told myself not to because it would give it existence. Like, I just felt deep down, like, don't draw it. Like,
yeah, I guess
feel
trust
like
your
it would
instincts.
bring it
Part of me
back.
wants you to draw it. Part of me wants you to draw it.
I know. Like, I wish I could just put it down. But
Yeah, it's like, do you want to do that? I hear you
I
because
feel
even
like it'll
going,
make it come back to me.
well,
if
you know,
do.
I took this whole trip out to Seattle to talk about my shadow person experience, and I wrote about it in my Rick Secker's book before, and it was great that I did. But I wish I almost want to rewrite it because of the ending. I left out a lot of the God stuff in the ending in his story because I was like, people are going to understand this. They're going to think I'm trying to preach to them. No, I'll just leave it to what it is. You know, that I was saved by something. But now I really wish I just give the credit where credit's due. That, you know, it was God that saved me. I really believe, or the Force. You know, pick what you want to call your entity. But you know, these things like this, I believe, like I said, they happen for a reason to awaken our eyes. You know, and it was a gift to you, and it was a gift to me, as horrible as they might have been. That being said, you know, we don't want to go. You don't want to go to those extents to get to that point. You don't want to, you know, when you invite these things in, when you do the paranormal, if you get into the occult, there is a danger. And I'm never going to, you know, deny that.
You open that door,
I've seen
it ain't closing.
You open that door. Yeah, you open that door, things will come through. That is the warning tonight for people. I'm not saying, saying to people, you know, not to, you know, explore, go out and do your investigations, but you've got to be careful. You've got to understand, and you got to have. I'm sorry, you have to have some kind of faith, some kind of spirituality. I've always been jealous. People have a religion and a faith in a religion. I don't know if I could ever have that. I have just the faith in a higher power.
Yeah.
You know, in God, and I try to build that relationship. I think you got to have something like that to deal with these
Absolutely.
things. Or they can really hurt you.
I feel like if you're interested in the ghost hunting, or you want to see something or hear something and just get it over with, check that, you know, off your bucket list, go with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't go alone.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go alone. Don't go
alone. Don't be trespassing.
Yeah,
Just
no, don't do that either. We got to go to commercial break.
Property. Oh, okay.
Respect the property, especially graveyards, people. Especially graveyards. I always hated that. People go to graveyards. It's like, I got an EVP once at a graveyard we kept going to, and I hated doing it. And the first 5 minutes there, I get an EVP that says, they're back. I'm not joking. I did get that one. But we're going to go to commercial break. We have special guest tonight, Sunny Brooke, who called in last week about her paranormal experience living in this house. You heard it tonight. We're going to talk more with her, but we want to talk with you if you want to call in. The phone lines will be open after this commercial break. Wait till the commercial break's over. We'll open up the phone lines. You want to come in, join this conversation, share a little bit of your experience. Maybe we could have you on next Sunday. You know, that's how it worked for Sunny. She called in last week, and now here she is, right? That's what I want. I want to talk to people about their experiences. This is why I do the show. All right, guys, we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is, it's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID oojblandoo or jblandparanormalsoup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight we have special guest Sunny Brook. Just last Sunday, she called in. You just heard her experience. She told it over the phone then, and tonight I wanted to have her on so we could hear her clear, get more of a conversation about her experience. And that's what it is. Maybe tonight you call in, we talk a little bit, and we get you back on here next Sunday, because I don't have a guest next Sunday. And I want to talk to people about their experiences. Is that you? I don't know. You can email me at paranormalsoupjbland@gmail.com. We can talk from there. Or you can call in tonight. We can talk a little bit now with our special guest, Sunny Brook, and you can share your experience with us. And we can talk more. Lines are now open. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure. Now they're open. You can call in, join the conversation, but let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right. Lines are open, guys. Call in if you want. Let me get the numbers up there. They are in the description of the links of the show if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Let me get where's my banner thing? There it is. Okay. And they're rolling across the screen if you're watching. For the radio people, 219-230-4444. That's the easiest line to call in. Sometimes it hangs up on you. I have the crappiest phone lines. I am so sorry. And I will try to keep my eye on it. And maybe I might have to call you back. Hopefully not. But we're back. You can unmute there, Sonny.
Gotcha.
All right, so this whole experience, it's changed you, it's opened your eyes to all this, so now, I mean, going through your life and everything you're doing, I mean, do you still have, like, has it opened up are you still seeing shadow people?
Almost every day.
See, that I don't know if it's good. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, as long as they're not messing with
I
you.
have an attachment for sure. I know, I don't want to say haunted, but I know it's me because it's everywhere I go, not necessarily a specific place. But the house in particular, that was the house. But I think I got this from what I used to do in that house. And it comes and goes in waves. It's not always threatening, but when it is, I know that feeling, and I know to shut it down immediately when it comes through.
I mean, I did have a few encounters, like I said, after my shadow person experience. The one on the road, which was terrifying, and the last time was in my apartment. When I first married my wife, I saw this thing, like, actually, I think reveal what its true face nature was, which looked like a beast or werewolf. I don't know. It was like the shadow, the blackness started to glow red, and I saw like a bestial face in the glow. And I said, in the name of God and Jesus, you get out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And that house was already an open doorway too, like yours. Like there was me and my wife one night saw these like glowing, like just faintly translucent faces, coming through the wall, and that wall pointed right at this old hospital called St. Anthony's that's now tore down. And I mean, I woke up to a woman standing over me telling me to get out. So that was a place that had open doorways, and I was super sick, and I think it gave it an opportunity one more time to try to get at me, but I was, not happening. We do got a call. Let's go ahead and see who do we got. All right. Who do we got on the line?
Hi, Jason. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Sunny. Sunnybrook? Sunny?
Sunnybrook, yeah.
It's Aziriana.
Hey, Aziriana.
How are you tonight? How is everybody tonight?
Doing good. Glad to hear you.
Yeah. You had been saying something about the orbs that you had been seeing, that you get a lot of orbs around you get them from the music and the things, But I used to, I probably will send you an email and be on the show one of these days,
You're welcome to it, Aziriana. I got you. If you want to do it next Sunday, we'll bring you on. Just let me know.
Next Sunday? I'll have to let you know. But anyway, definitely want to be on. But one of the haunted houses I lived in, there were orbs all the time. And it looked like what Jamie was describing. It looked like one of those, what do you call? You touch those things that look like a brain or something, or electrical lamp or something like that. Like you touch it.
Oh, the static
electricity balls. Tesla ones. The Tesla coil in the end of it. You put your fingers up to it, and the
little
electricity goes your fingers. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Well, I used to get those. Yeah, exactly like that. And I used to get those, and I would actually see them flying around the room. And some were different colors. I had blue, I had like a pinkish one, and then the white ones. But the white ones, and I had yellow ones, but the white ones were like extra brilliant. And I didn't know about those lamp thingies, but when I did take pictures, I do have evidence. I have pictures. It looked like what I rationed it to was like a brain type thing, you know, because all the strings and stuff, right? Okay. Inside this orb. I never saw faces or faces or anything, but it kind of looked like that. And they would always dance around this one room. And, the whole place was, you know, was terribly haunted anyway, so, you know. But, you know, orbs do come in different kind of, there are a lot of different orbs and everything, you know. I never, I just forgot. I apologize.
It's late on Sunday night. I forget all the time things here. You watch me stutter and spit out stupid stuff every Sunday night, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I've been up since 7:30 this morning, so I'm like exhausted. But anyway, yeah, but
yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Do you feel like when you saw these orb-like things, like they had an agenda, or just random roaming around?
Oh no, they had an agenda. There were so many spirits in this house but these were the orbs. When I saw them, their agenda. I mean, I think it was protecting. I didn't feel like threatened or anything, you know. And they would like, you know, dance type thing, you know. It was like they were dancing or floating or stuff like that, you know. And I always, they definitely, I think, did have an agenda, you know. They did.
But not negative is what you felt, right? You didn't feel like it was negative?
Yeah. But definitely, I got a whole bunch of stories anyway. I lived in 3 haunted houses, so you know, I don't know what I know a couple were the worst, but you know, it's amazing to live in a haunted house and
it's something
deal with it and stuff. Yeah, it is.
Especially when you figure out the routine and you're like, all right, stop.
I like investigating them. I like investigating them. I don't like living in them. I found that out in our first apartment, and having a lady stand over me tell me to get out. And I did that. I got out. I love investigating it. I don't want to live in it, especially now that I have children. I don't want to live in it.
Yes.
The thing that, the question that I would have is that yes, you do have to live in it. And every time I thought about, well, maybe I should get somebody to investigate, even though I knew the story, the background that, you know, I knew about the house. As I would be thinking that, it's like they knew that, and the activity would kind of change. Like, yeah, we don't want anybody in the house, you know? And this is just, you know, like, I don't know, you know, if I was special or anything, you know, that sounds silly, but, like I said.
Well, Ziriana, you're an example. What I say is that, from your earliest childhood, you grew up in a haunted house, right?
Well, no, when I grew up, I was abducted by aliens, not in a haunted house.
Well, I know you had aliens. That's a whole other thing with Ziriana. That's mainly what I'm talking to you about being on this show, is because we still got to get back.
Yeah.
We gave her an object, a little pyramid object. I love the little, Blake Sinclair did like a little AI image thing of that I saw from your.
That was the closest image that I could
cool.
I could ever describe it, except it was more rounded than the edges that he had on it. He had like edges on the last image that he had done.
Basically, Sunnybrook, she was given during her abduction experiences. At one point during her childhood, she was given an object, a little like pyramid thing that would glow when they were coming, and then they took it from her.
Yeah. Still trying to get it back.
So she could give it to me.
They don't do. They
No,
don't
she
do
won't
that.
give it to me. I promise, Alien. She won't give it to me. Just go ahead and give it back to her.
Hey, you know, even on the spirit box, I don't know if it was a Sunday or a Wednesday when Jamie and Rob were doing it, or if it was a Sunday night show with you, Jason. I asked the spirit box, and I was thinking about it, and the answer was definitely no. And I was like, oh, come on, you know?
Didn't we have you call in with Tony Rothman when we had last done it?
Okay. Okay, it could have been that.
It might have been that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jamie and Rob.
I think it was
Yeah, I mean, I really would like it back at this point, you know? But it came at that close. He came that close with that image. And I was like so freaked out, going, yes, that's almost it. You know, that's
cool.
You know, in describing it, you know?
Yeah.
And with that, I mean, if anybody else, like I said, I was a child, but if anybody else had that type of object, it wasn't only me that got it. You know?
There's other people that got it.
And when they see that, they're going to remember that.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Yeah. But, yeah. But, I mean, I think as children, like I said, it's you know, it's something that, you know, geared for young people, you know, as opposed to anything else,
Well,
you know?
I mean,
a distraction.
A child you can probably can trust. Be like, here, take this. Don't tell anyone. You give that adult, it's like National Enquirer. I got an object from aliens, and nobody believes them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's what a grown up would do.
Yeah.
Almost like not question them, but I can't think of the word right now.
Well, I mean, like I said, a child, wouldn't question it, right? And like, okay.
Right.
What's this?
Right. It's like a toy.
What do we got here?
Or a gift. You know?
What's this?
Did the pyramid look like that?
Oh, with like the Hershey kiss.
Like a Hershey kiss?
Like if it was silver.
It was, I think, like a little Hershey kiss or a pyramid shape.
I think I remember you saying it kind of like a Hershey kiss a little bit.
Yeah, it was like a pyramid.
Yeah, but it was more rounded than like a straight pyramid type.
Like
but
rounded.
you know. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the sides, like in a pyramid, the three sides are equal, and then it's just flat, and like it you know, they should be flat, right? But I mean, this was smooth. It was so very smooth. And like I said, it was rounded on the bottom and rounded on the sides, but it was pyramid shaped. And like I said, but like a combination pyramid, but almost like a Hershey kiss because of the fact of the round shape that it was, you know?
It was about the size of a Hershey kiss too, probably, right?
Yes, it was. You know, obviously I could hold it in my hand and whatever else, you know? Yeah. But, yeah. And, yeah, I don't know. Well,
we'll get you on to talk about that. You've been on, you know, you call in. You're my loyal Patreon and YouTube channel member. I love you to death, and you can definitely come on.
Thank
you know that. You know that. You can join.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fill up too many spots for Halloween. I mean, if you're willing to come on video call, I'll have you on for Halloween. I got probably one spot left because we try not to fill up the panel too big. But I got Katrina. I told Tilly and. Artemis, they got to share a thing because I'm hoping to have Jamie and Rob, and then I think we could fit like one more person in if you wanted to join us for that too. Yeah, but that's gonna be more of a party. hangout.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but one night we should get to talk about this whole experience. We really should, because you've called in and told us pieces of it. So yeah, I'm all up for that, Azariana. Just let me know.
Okay, and if I find, and if I find my pictures, I will try to send them too, so you could do that.
Yeah.
I had no Polaroid camera. The old Polaroids.
Oh man,
So-
I've seen some amazing stuff with Polaroids. I love Polaroid cameras for investigations. Honestly, I do. I love them. I've seen some amazing stuff come out of Polaroids, man. It'll blow your mind. There's this house, super haunted house. When I was a teenager, we would play there.
Yeah.
There's a bassist musician that lived there when I was in bands as a teenager. And this house was like, I had a baby gate thrown at my face there. A guy I couldn't stand. He had a hammer on the wall, literally lifted up and levitated in the air for a second, and then thrown at his head. The friend that lived there, his father was like into the occult, had a skin-bound necromancy book. He was like into all this stuff, and they showed me Polaroids that came out of a camera that should have had no film in it.
Right.
And it looked like a gateway to heaven in one of them. I don't know. There were crazy things going on in that house. So I love Polaroid cameras. I'll let you go, Azariana.
All right. Well, thank you for answering. And, blessings to everybody, your fur babies, and you and your family and everything else.
Thank you.
So, as I always say. All righty. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lines are open, people, if you want to call in. Like I said, I don't know how much later we'll go tonight or not, but love hearing Azariana. She's shared a lot with us over the years, and I'd love to just have her come on and tell her story. We got another person here calling in. All right. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, Jason. It's Debbie Smoley.
Debbie Smoley. Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. How you been?
I know it's been a long time. Oh, I've been busy. So I had a really cool experience this week, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, a week and a half ago, one of my lifelong best friends, who's like a brother to me, passed away. Really unexpectedly. Thank you. And, I've been talking to Spirit for a long time, and I tried for a couple of days, and it was just like crickets. And I think that was mainly because my vibration was low and just, had a lot of grief and pain around it. And so I just wasn't getting anything. So last Saturday, I was just sitting on my porch trying to keep myself awake. I had laundry going that I had to put into the dryer, and I was keeping myself awake until I had to get in the shower. And I just closed my eyes, and I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden his face just popped into my head. And we had like a 5-minute long conversation where he gave me messages for his wife and for our mutual friend who tried to resuscitate him. And, sometimes when we don't talk to Spirit for a while or we're new at it, we're like, is this really going on? Is this really happening? Or am I just making this up in my head? So I asked him for like 3 signs or symbols so that I would know that I wasn't making it up in my head. So the first symbol he gave me was this big, bright, white star. And he was a rock musician, so I kind of thought, well, maybe, rock star, maybe that was it. But the second one was a cowbell, which I had no clue what that was about. And then the third one was a song by Sonny and Cher called I Got You, Babe. And I know that one was for his wife. So later that night, we get to the fundraiser for his wife. We're raising money to help with the funeral costs and everything. And my other friend, Marcy, comes up to me and goes, hey, guess what? I bought a star and named it after Brian. I paid to have a star named after Brian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So goosebumps. So the next day, his former drummer comes to me and goes, that video you shared of them playing their guitars on the bar, he goes, you can hear my cowbell in the back. He goes, I never have my cowbell, but you can hear it clear as day.
I just think of Christopher Walken goes, it needs more cowbell.
Yeah, needs more cowbell. So that was the first one. So then this weekend, on Friday night, we went to see the band that Brian played for, Crash Rocket. And they were up on stage, and the lead singer comes up to the front of the stage, and he has a cowbell in his hand. He goes, we finally got another cowbell. This is the first time we've had a cowbell in years. I can't make this up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So literally, like, the star and the cowbell got confirmation 3 different times. So just for anybody who's new to it or hasn't done it in a while and you're doubting yourself, trust what you're getting and just know that your signs may not always make sense in the moment that you're getting them, but usually very soon after, something's going to happen and that sign is going to make 100% sense to you then.
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome. You're welcome. So that was my experience.
I love that. And, it's like people don't, they I think people have the same experience as you and they doubt it. And I think you did the right thing, like, show me some signs so I know this is real, and you got it. And I believe that 100%. I've been the last couple of weeks, I've talked about how I think God speaks through the synchronicities.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
And I think your loved ones do too. I mean, I know that the morning my wife's grandmother, Mimi, passed away, their thing was the red cardinal. And that was the first thing we saw as we got up that morning, as we found out it was the red cardinal sitting right outside our window.
Aw, that's
She used
beautiful.
to call him a red jay, and our grandma would buy her all these cardinals, because when she was a little girl, she'd call him a red jay. And I know that was a sign, synchronicities. People can scoff or laugh at them, but when you really experience the loss and you feel that presence and they show themselves through these synchronicities, or you build a relationship with God, I think, or the force, as I call it, you will see these synchronicities more and more.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And it was just so comforting just to see his grinning face in my head and to talk with him for a few minutes. It just brought me a lot of comfort and peace. And I know I just had to get to a place where I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't grieving in the moment. I was just relaxing, trying to just keep myself from falling asleep. I wasn't really thinking about anything, just sitting there trying to stay awake and just had my eyes closed and then poof, there he was, So it's just getting yourself in the right frequency.
That's so true. I think that's so true. I think that's why people are like, well, why didn't they come to me? I was grieving so hard. And I think that's it. You're grieving so hard. It's the energy. They can't.
Yep.
They can't get through to you when your energy's in that low vibration of grief.
Yeah.
It's hard,
Right.
and I can't blame anybody for being there, feeling that.
It's at the right time.
Yeah. But sometimes
Yeah.
people, the loved ones, my grandmother showed, I was feeling pretty down and out about my grandmother, and she did enough to come through to me at my own work in a mirror. I saw her, Like, they find ways to get through sometimes, when they need to. And I think she caught me at a moment. I was in a zen moment of steaming clothes, That's her moment she could get through to me.
Mine seemed to come
I
to
read
me
these.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I read these books by Dr. Michael Newton, PhD, and he did like hypnotherapy. He was a psychologist, but he started doing hypnotherapy, and he was an atheist when he started doing it, and he ended up learning about past life regression, and he started doing that. And at one point, he regressed somebody even deeper, and they were experiencing in-between life regression. So they would experience like their death in a previous life, and then going over to heaven or the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, going there and what they would do their time in the spirit realm until they chose another vessel, another body, another life to come experience here. And they're absolutely fascinating books. The first one is Journey of Souls, and the second one is Destiny of Souls. Fascinating.
It is.
It was 30 years of, his notes that he took from all of these different in-between life regressions that he did. And he even started a school that teaches hypnotherapists that are familiar already in past life regression how to do the in-between life regression. And I believe it's in the second book, Destiny of Souls, they talk about, that they stayed around after their death in the previous life. They stayed around and tried to get through to their loved ones. But sometimes they were able to, but it was very dependent on like the vibration and the level of grief that their loved one was in.
Right.
And also the spirit soul level. If they had done this a bunch of times before and they remembered, after they died that, hey, this isn't my first time around. I know I can get through to them if I just stick around for a little
I
while.
was wondering if that's
you
something
know?
that plays into that factor, the level of the spirit or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
it's
way my
fascinating.
grandmother or
It's
my
just
great grandfather
fascinating
came
stuff.
through and saved me during the shadow person experience. All these things. I
Yeah.
mean, I think his love is the ultimate power there, energy.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I think if you're thinking about someone that you love and you're thinking about a good memory of them, that brings them in easier. If you're thinking about a good time that you had with them, or the love you had for them, or like a birthday celebration, and you're not sitting there thinking about, oh, they're dead and I'm never going to see them again, and if you're focused on the blessings that you have with that person and the good times that you have with that person, I think it makes it a lot easier for them to come through.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
You have to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Deb.
You're welcome. You guys have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And I always say my favorite, I have a lot of people doing this show tell me their experiences, and I always say this, I say it 100 billion times, my favorite stories people share with me are those ones, the ones about a loved one coming through to them like that. Those are my favorite. I love all of them. I love the UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, I love all that, but that's my favorite, that experience. Because me, that's that warm comfort blanket we both felt. It's in the same way it is with the loved ones coming through. There's a connection between why people worshipped ancestors back in the day, your past, your loved ones, and a connection to the love of God. I think this higher power, it binds all that together.
I had one moment where I knew for a fact it was my sister, and I made a song about it and a very unique music video about it. The song's about believe in something, no matter what it is, just as long as there's something you're believing in, you need that feeling. And the whole video is this dragonfly would not leave me alone. The whole music video is just this dragonfly. And I believed in that moment. I was like, this is my sister. I know for a fact it is. And I was like, I could prove it. I was like, I believe so much that this is my sister. I believe it's going to land in my hand. Land in my hand. And it did. It landed in my hand at that moment that I was 100% belief. And I got the sign. I knew.
Yeah, one of my favorite World Wide Web of weird stories we shared was it.
That's awesome. That's like a knowing that only you.
Where's that one with the bird? The ladies. It was a special bird that meant something to their mother or something like that, and it flew into their hand even. Just a regular wild bird. Or was it a child that had passed away? I can't remember. But birds just don't fly into people's hands like that.
No.
And people, I think people have had these kind of, like I said, their synchronicities, the force, whatever. That's what this works through,
But that's not a coincidence. And a lot of people write these things off as coincidences. But when you know that you're looking for, universal signs and things like that, she literally was looking for a validation and got that reassurance, that validation right there. And
On
that's all
video.
all that
On
you
video.
need. Even better. Usually they keep that just for you, just your own experience. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a believer in it. Like I said, I do think they can communicate through animals, birds, insects, and that scene, and other synchronicities. Like your favorite, the right song coming on the radio is one of the ones. There's no way randomly you were just thinking about that person and you had this song, whatever, and it comes on. How many people have had that experience? Oh, it's just coincidence. There's certain stories I've heard from people. There's no way. It was too specific.
Coincidences are so rare.
Yeah.
Numbers are big for me. The number 33.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous the amount of times because it goes in waves, and when you're when you're getting a sign that day and it's just nonstop, in your face.
Yeah, and then other signs that go with it. So you're looking at the number.
And it's just one after another, and you're like, okay, already, calm down.
Well, I think this is what I say this. I do believe when you're recognizing these things and seeing the signs, This is you're building a communication with this higher power, this force.
Absolutely.
Well, you are.
You are.
Communicating with the universe. You're communicating with. I mean,
Always say thank you.
always.
No matter what
Yeah.
kind of sign it is, it could be a cup spilling in your lap at a specific moment, and the moment could suck, but you say thank you.
And sometimes it's just so ridiculous. You just smile and you laugh and you just.
Yeah, you're like, I'm nuts.
Yeah.
This is just too much.
But isn't that much more of a better life to live? You know, experiencing the magic and wonder that is around us instead of being down on our phones and like, ooh, wow,
Hey,
what is on TikTok?
everybody
You know,
lives in their own reality, and their infinite realities, and not one is the same.
yeah.
So everything's a possibility.
Yeah, in some universe, I'm Batman. No. No, but I mean, I honestly, I do. I think people, if you open yourselves up to this, you know, I'm not talking to cult or that. This idea of a higher power and this force. I love Star Wars, right? I use the force. I can get a picture of that, Sunnybrook. What was that? Oh, so I don't know what she was saying. Jason is Batman. Yeah, you got it. But I believe if you build this relationship with us, this higher power, it will communicate more to you. You will notice it more and more.
Yeah, because they're
111,
recognizing that
synchronicities.
you're recognizing it and that you're responding to it, just like spirit communication. It's the same thing. Once they realize that you're acknowledging and responding, they're going to communicate even more.
Mary Kay, my mom's stepdad came in the form of a bird. He landed on my grandmother and then my mom, and then he flew out the window of the funeral home.
The funeral home? That's
Listen to that. What do you think? Well, it's just
That's
coincidence the bird just flew into the funeral home. Just
Mhm.
coincidence? No, not at all. I love that story, Marie. Marie, that's
beautiful.
amazing. I love that. What's this? Force equals mash. Yeah, I'm reading chat because we're probably going to end soon. I might get much more calls. Unless anybody else want to call in now because I got to get up a little earlier than usual tomorrow.
I'd
Sadly.
like to add, you
Yeah,
know,
go ahead.
if you're starting to get these signs and you're in the beginning of all this and you're starting to recognize and think to yourself, maybe it's not coincidence, write it down. Journal it.
Oh, yeah, journal.
Keep track.
I'm the worst at my own
because
advice, but I agree with that 100%.
You're going to find a pattern. And it might be a little weird to some people, but the moon has a lot to do with it. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge...
Full moon tomorrow, by the way. Harvest moon.
Yep. Yeah, I do
Super
think the
moon.
moon...
Mm-hmm.
Is it a soul capacitor? Sorry, it's something we joke about on here all the time. John Lear's soul capacitor. I've been fasting with the moon. Oh, yeah, we do have a call. All right, let's see. Who do we got? Who do we got on the line?
Hi.
Hello. You're on here.
Hello, Jason. How are you doing?
Hi, who do we got?
Marie.
Oh, hey, Marie.
Hey.
Hey. So you had the funeral with the bird?
Yeah, the bird actually was my grandfather's spirit. He was telling my mom and my grandmother goodbye at that particular instant.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
So you guys were just like sitting in a funeral home at your
No, this was before I was born.
before you were born?
I was born in 83, and this was about 1969.
Gotcha.
My mother told me that story.
But your mom relayed this experience to you, so she was sitting in there, and they were in a funeral home. It flew through the window and landed on them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't deny that. I'm just sorry. I just don't tell me that's just coincidence. I'm sorry. It's not coincidence.
No, it's not.
No. That's amazing.
It was very, very beautiful.
Yeah. I definitely think birds are their own little living creatures, but somehow spirits are able to influence or affect them and use them as messengers. And what are birds but messengers?
Oh, guess what? My mom came in the form of a butterfly and wouldn't leave the passenger side window when I was in the car.
Oh yeah. See, you're seeing the
Yeah,
signs.
and
You're seeing the signs.
yes, it's beautiful. Okay, Jason, I'll let you get back to it.
All right, Marie. Thank you so much. I love that story. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, and I mean, tons of people have had these experiences. That's why they're my favorite, or my favorite. Because why are they my favorite? Because I think the most powerful thing out of everything we discuss about multiple realities, UFOs, everything, the most powerful to me is love. And what's love is your family members, the people close to you, your friends, and knowing that that love doesn't die and they go on, but they're still with you. To me, that's the most powerful thing, and that's why I love those stories so much. But I think I'm going to end the show on that with Marie's story. Thank you, Sunnybrook, so much for being on tonight.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast. I really did.
We'll definitely get you on again. You get those EVPs together, and I'll definitely have an EVP
Okay.
night. I'm a EVP connoisseur. I love them.
Okay.
So I'd love to listen
I
to them
will.
one night. And again, guys, if you're interested in doing what Sunny did tonight, coming on here and just sharing, like you got a story like she did and an experience to share, reach out to me, paranormalsoup, jbland@gmail.com. It's in the links of the show description. And we'll try to figure something out, you know. I mean, even if it's just for like 20 or 30 minutes, that's all you got to talk about. But we'll bring you on here to make sure you're nice and clear. It should work better because my phone line's kind of janky. You can hear it, you know. Some people come through all right, you know. And if you don't want to be on camera, don't worry. You don't have to be. You can turn the camera off. And you don't have to give your first name, or you want to give a pseudonym or whatever. I don't care, you know. I just want to talk and share your experience with the audience, and you know, that's how we learn about this great magical world we live in, by sharing these experiences. So thank you, Sunny. You were awesome tonight. Keep in touch. But that's it. Next Sunday, we'll see what happens. Open lines, send a World Wide Web of Weird, maybe, or we have a special person on to talk like Sunny Brook did tonight. It was amazing. Thank you, guys. But that is going to be it for the show. I'm going to end a little early tonight because I got to drive some kids to school a little earlier than usual. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Don't forget to support the channel. Share it out to your friends. Tell everybody about Paranormal Soup, where the weird happens live every Sunday night. If you want to become a channel member, you know, that does help the show. It does help pay the bills. Thank you for the super chat tonight. Anything helps. You can also become a Patreon. The link's in the show description. And thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will see you next Sunday.